Craig Stewart, a 72-year-old resident of a Mercy Housing Atlanta property, was living a good life. Active and engaged, he enjoyed his daily routines. But one fateful day, his life took a drastic turn. A damaged iron grate in a walkway on the property proved to be a hidden danger. Craig tripped and fell. The impact was severe. Craig suffered head trauma, a devastating blow that left him disoriented and in pain. The fall also shattered his spine, resulting in 5 slipped discs in his neck and 6 in his back. The pain was excruciating, radiating down his body and impacting his mobility. His once active life was now defined by doctor's visits, physical therapy, and the constant struggle to manage the pain. The incident left him with lasting nerve damage, a constant reminder of that terrible day. Craig's injuries were not just physical, they were emotional and financial as well. The accident robbed him of his independence, forcing him to rely on others for even the simplest tasks. The financial burden of medical bills added to his stress, casting a dark cloud over his future. What should have been golden years filled with relaxation and enjoyment were now consumed by pain, recovery, and the fight for justice. This was just the beginning of Craig's ordeal. He would soon discover that the negligence he experienced went far beyond one damaged grate. It was a pattern of disregard that permeated the very fabric of Mercy Housing's operations. The damaged grate that caused Craig's fall was not a recent issue. It had been a known hazard for months, a testament to Mercy Housing's neglect of their property. What's worse, it took Mercy Housing an agonizing 6 months to finally repair the grate. 6 months of residents potentially facing the same fate as Craig. But the negligence didn't stop there. Craig's apartment building, a 10-story structure housing numerous elderly and vulnerable residents, was riddled with problems. The elevators, a lifeline for many residents, were notoriously unreliable. They would often break down, sometimes both at the same time, leaving residents stranded for days on end. Imagine being elderly, maybe needing a walker or wheelchair, and being trapped in your apartment for days because the elevator doesn't work. That was the reality for many residents of this building. Refrigeration issues plagued Craig's apartment, forcing him to resort to desperate measures to keep his food from spoiling. For 3.5 years, he was forced to use frozen water bottles and gel packs to keep his food cold. 3.5 years of living with the constant worry of food spoilage, the inconvenience of makeshift solutions, and the indignity of living in such conditions. This basic necessity, something most people take for granted, was a daily struggle for Craig. These issues were not isolated incidents. They were symptomatic of a larger pattern of neglect that extended throughout the building and, as Craig would soon discover, to Mercy Housing's treatment of its tenants. Craig Stewart is a fighter. He refused to be just another victim of negligence and indifference. He decided to fight back, not just for himself, but for all the tenants who had suffered in silence for too long. He filed a lawsuit against Mercy Housing, seeking justice for the pain and suffering he endured. But Craig's battle extended beyond the courtroom. He knew that exposing the truth was crucial to protecting other vulnerable tenants. He created websites, sharing his story and documenting the appalling conditions he and his neighbors faced. He reached out to the media, determined to shine a light on Mercy Housing's practices. Craig's efforts were met with resistance. Mercy Housing, a supposedly non-profit organization entrusted with providing safe and affordable housing, seemed more interested in protecting their image than taking responsibility for their actions. They hired a powerful law firm, using their considerable resources to silence him. They seemed content to drag out the legal process, hoping to wear him down. But Craig refused to back down. He knew that what was at stake was bigger than just his case. It was about holding powerful organizations accountable, about ensuring that vulnerable tenants had a voice, and about demanding dignity and respect for all. Craig Stewart's fight is far from over. He is facing an uphill battle against a powerful and well-funded opponent, but he is not alone. He needs our support. Support his legal battle. Donate to his GoFundMe campaign, which will help him cover the mounting legal fees. But our support must go beyond financial assistance. We need to amplify his voice, share his story, contact your local representatives, and demand better protections for tenants. Hold organizations like Mercy Housing accountable for their actions. Let them know that we will not tolerate neglect, indifference, and the mistreatment of vulnerable individuals. Craig Stewart's story is a stark reminder that even in a country as wealthy as ours, basic human dignity is often denied to the most vulnerable among us. It is a call to action for all of us to stand up, speak out, and demand justice for Craig and countless others who deserve safe, affordable, and respectful housing.